Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. In today's video we are going to be talking about another beautiful Crassula. Now I'm not very sure about the exact ID, but I'll still put it up on the screen because this is what I could find on Google. But it is a succulent from the genus of Crassula. Now it's an absolutely beautiful, very unusual looking Crassula. A lot of Crassulas do have that fuzziness on the leaves, and this is one of them. Now please don't go according to this color. It was kept in indirect bright light because when I had got this plant, it kind of came in with a lot of damage. It was a very huge plant, but it started to have issues, and this was only the part that was left. So I kept it in indirect bright light so that it can acclimate and grow healthy. Now initially it was just a very small little piece, but now it has started to do quite well. I do see a lot of new growth. The front portion that you're seeing, the new pups that are coming up, these are all the new growth. And the center one is the mother plant, or the portion of the mother plant. The issue with this Crassula is that it takes a lot of beatings in the transit, especially when the transit has taken a very long time. And that's exactly what happened with this plant. It took around 1 week for the transit box to arrive, due to which this plant had taken a lot of beating and the entire plant had gone haywire. So this is not the original color. It looks very green over here because it's kept in indirect bright light. Ideally this plant gets really red in color, or I would say reddish maroon in color. I'll try to put up the image from Google how it tends to look like. So ideally this Crassula is very easy to care. The only issue, as I said, if the box takes longer time in the transit, then this is one of the first succulent that is going to get damaged. Apart from that, it's a very slow growing Crassula, not like the other Crassulas that tend to have a little bit faster growth. This tends to grow very, very slow. Now the care requirements remains the same as we give for all our succulents. The soil has to be loose, porous and well draining. Ensure that you're not keeping this succulent in soggy wet soil. Ensure that the soil does not retain a lot of moisture, otherwise it can have a root rot. Light is the most important thing. If you want to have that good amount of color, after acclimating it, you can give morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours, but you have to ensure that the succulent is completely acclimated. Do not offer this Crassula with afternoon direct sunlight, otherwise the leaves will get burnt. Watering remains the same. Ensure that the soil mix is completely bone dry before you go ahead and water it. Remember guys, this would require a little bit more watering because Crassulas prefer a little bit more watering as compared to other succulents. But again, the thumb rule remains the same. The soil has to be completely bone dry. Do not keep them underwatered excessively, otherwise that will damage the plant. Right now it is summers. Do not add any fertilizers because Crassulas tend to go dormant during the summers. Winter is their growing period. So now, because they are in the resting period, do not do any propagation or a stem cutting. It might take a very long time for them to root or even to put out pups. So ensure that you're not doing any cutting right now. Keep it until you are into your winters, which is very, very long time from now. But again, right now just let them relax, let them rest. Do not do any kind of cuttings or repotting. Now ideally this plant does not get affected with any pests like mealybugs or scale insects because they have these really fuzzy leaves. Becomes a little difficult for the mealybugs to attack this plant. But again, being said that, if you have other succulents that are already infested with mealybugs, then those mealybugs can attack onto this plant, so you have to be extremely careful. Any succulent of yours that has been infected with mealybugs or scale insects, or even for that matter aphids, always ensure that you isolate the plant. Do not keep them with your rest of the arrangement, otherwise the bugs can easily spread onto the other succulents. Now talking about propagation, as I said, you'll have to wait until winters. You can do a stem cutting. Leaf propagation, I'm not very sure. I haven't done a leaf propagation for this, but it tends to work out really well with stem cutting. As I said, this plant was quite damaged, so I had to cut a part of the stem, and that's when it started to do quite well. Now for it to reach to this stage, it has taken around, I would say roughly around 8 to 9 months. As I said, I only had the centerpiece. You can see that is the largest one. The ones in the front are all the new pups that are coming up. So it is a very, very slow growing succulent, but as long as it's healthy, it's absolutely okay. Do not need to be in a hurry for it to grow fast. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep propagating.